Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we are going to talk about President Biden waking up and deciding this is the week to really start talking about something, and how the Biden administration is going to be pushing certain elements all week. And this is all in reference to the House GOP budget proposals, something that we have talked about on this channel for a while. We've gone through the numbers. We have talked about how if the House GOP really plans on trying to achieve what they are saying in public, the cuts are going to be massive, and how they're going to hit Republican priorities really, really hard. Now, the Biden administration is going on the offensive this week. They're going to be talking about this all week. Today, you will hear about how the GOP all of a sudden wants to defund the police, how they want to cut border patrol, how they want to cut train safety. That's today. Tomorrow, they're going to be focusing on healthcare and energy costs, and how the cuts to healthcare and energy are going to raise prices for, well, everybody, but particularly those who live in red states. Then on Wednesday, they're going to talk about how getting rid of the manufacturing incentives will encourage manufacturing jobs to be shipped to overseas. On Thursday, they will talk about the expected Medicare cuts and how that's going to hit seniors. And keep in mind, older people tend to vote more conservative. They tend to vote for the GOP a little bit more, statistically speaking. And then on Friday, the big one, defense cuts and what it's going to do to national security. Now, here's the thing about this. We've been through most of this. I don't think I've talked about the manufacturing stuff, but we've been through most of this on the channel. Everything the Biden administration is going to say this week is true. If the GOP in the House really plans on trying to make good on all of their public statements, it's going to take really deep cuts to a whole bunch of Republican priorities, and it is going to disrupt the rest of their talking points. You can't sit there and talk about border security while your proposal cuts, I want to say, 2,000 jobs out of Border Patrol. You can't talk about how the left is lawless when you're advocating to defund the police. You can't talk about America first and making America great again and bringing the jobs back when you're getting rid of the incentives to do so. This is going to disrupt the GOP a lot, especially when the impacts on veterans come out. The reality is, if the House GOP wants to do what it is publicly saying, it is going to hit their base hard. And it's all fun and games to rally around talking points until it hits your wallet. And these cuts are going to hit Republican wallets hard. The Biden administration has decided, for whatever reason, this is the week to go after it. Seems a little odd to me. I don't know that I would have done it this week, but maybe the Biden administration is counting on people channel surfing and watching the news a whole lot because of some things that might be happening in New York. If that's their logic behind it, okay, I get it. I don't know that I would have done it when there's another big competing news story. But I'm not going to complain, because for once it looks like the Biden administration is going to come out swinging. We'll have to wait and see how committed they are to it, but the Republican Party in the House has talked itself into a corner. They have made all of these wild claims in public about what they want to do and how deep they want to make these cuts. And now they're finding out what they're actually going to be cutting. I have a lot of concerns that because a lot of the House GOP is in its own social media echo chamber and feedback loop, that they may actually allow the U.S. to default if they don't get their way. which, I mean, I think it was the Congressional Budget Office, or maybe it was Moody's, but one of them, one of the analysis, kind of showed that a short-term default would actually be better for the U.S. economy than the Republican budget. So, I mean, there is that. Either way, expect a lot of talk about the budget this week, because the Biden administration has made it very clear that this is what they're going after, and they're going to talk about it. And the Republican Party isn't going to have a lot that they can hit back with, because the reality is, if they want to do what they have publicly said they are going to do, it's going to take these cuts. It's going to take very deep cuts to things that the Republican Party has viewed as core principles, and there's no way around it. It's going to be weird hearing Republicans try to justify defunding the police after the last few years. It's going to be weird seeing them try to square their image of Biden, because remember, in those circles, he is cast as some leftist. For those that don't know, he's not. He's center-right. He is not a leftist in any meaningful version of the term. He is definitely pro-capitalism. And they're going to have a hard time responding to this. We can hope that there is enough pushback from outside of their echo chamber that they start to adjust their views on this and maybe soften their position. Because if they stick to a hardline position on this, it doesn't matter if they get their way or it defaults. It's really bad for the U.S. economy. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.